Hi everyone, I hope all is good, safe and protected. My name is Rabia Swaidi. I'm recording this video from Dubai where I live and work. So this is about the latest numbers of the coronavirus outbreak. I'm using this website or web application that I developed. It is published online and everybody actually can open it and use it and analyze the numbers. So as of yesterday, we reached worldwide 1,272,115, so almost 1,300,000 cases, whereas the number of people recovered is 260,000, and the number of people who died is approximately 69,400. The fatality rate is 5.5%. Now, the good sign about yesterday is that this day-to-day increased 6%. This number is lower than what we used to see previously. So, for example, if I look towards the end of March, for example, 21st of March, it was at 12%. Then it was between 12 and 13% actually. Then it dropped to 9%. And yesterday we saw it at 6%, which is good sign, but we need it to be zero so that there'll be no more cases anymore. Okay, I can also analyze the numbers time-wise. So if I select a specific period starting from mid of March, so let's select here 15 March. Okay, we notice that the number of cases jumped from 167,000 to almost 1.3 million, which means that the number of cases during this period is equal 6.6 times the total number of cases in the previous period. Okay, and also I can look starting from 1st of March, so the total number of cases during the last month is equal around 13 times the number of cases in the previous period. But please bear in mind that this is where the virus starts spreading outside of China and in all other continents and countries. Okay, so I can look at the map and see how the cases are spread. The dark color means that there are high number of cases. Um, I can look here at the confirmed, and also I can select the recovered and see how the green color is distributed, and also I can look at the red color to see how the death is spread across the globe. I can also look at the evolution of the virus with time, and here by default the top 5 markets are selected. I can add China, for example, to the chart, and we see that China beat the virus way before the virus starts spreading in the other markets. So the curve in China already took its S shape, and now there are no more increase in the cases. Whereas if we look at the US, it's speeding up. The total number of cases in the US is now almost 3 times as the total number of cases in the top other markets such as Italy and Spain. Okay, so here I can also look again at the top N markets. We notice here that the total number of cases in these top 5 markets is almost equal to 70%, 70 to 75% of the total number of cases in the world. And if I again select the top 10 markets, we see that China is ranked 6th and Iran is ranked 7th, and the total number of cases in these top markets is almost around 85 to 90% the total number of cases in the whole world. Okay, so let me analyze some of the markets. If I look here at the US, as we said, the total number of cases in the USA is 337,072. In order for me to compare markets, I have to look relatively to the population size. So in the US, among every 100,000 people, we have on average 103 people infected, whereas the average or the fatality rate in the US is 2.9%. Whereas if I look again in Europe, the number of cases in Italy is 128,000, around 129,000 actually, and among every 100,000 people we have around 207, 208 people infected in the coronavirus. The fatality rate in Italy is 12%, and this is actually relatively high compared to other markets, especially in Europe. For example, Germany, we have the fatality rate only at 1.6%. France is a little bit high at 8.6%, and Spain is higher. So the number of cases in Spain actually is higher now than the number of cases in Italy. Okay, I'd love to look at the United Arab Emirates where I live. So we reached 1,800 people infected, and the fatality rate is pretty low at 0.6%. So again, I can look country-wise by analyzing countries. Here I have Lebanon. Let me look at the United States, for example. Okay, so this is United States of America. And here I'm looking at the new cases per day. If I select only the confirmed and I also filter or zoom towards the latest period, so I see an increase in the number of cases. Yesterday alone, for example, they have 28,000 new cases. If I look at the United Arab Emirates, also there's a little bit of increase in the previous 2 to 3 days. Yesterday we had 294 new cases. The cumulative curve in the UAE is picking up. But there are new measures now that is taken in the UAE. For example, we can't leave home without police permit anymore, even if you are going to the grocery. So I hope with all these measures the number will slow down. Okay, I also want to look at this table where I can compare markets together. So here I have the tested and the confirmed numbers. I have the active numbers, which means the numbers that are still active that are not recovered yet. I have the recovered and the death. And on the right, I'm seeing the percentage split between the active, recovered, and the number of death. So let's say I want to select all the markets that have more than 19 to 20,000. So let's say 20,000. Let's keep it at 19,000 cases. So here I sort it out. Sorry. So on the top level, of course, we have United States, and the lowest among all these markets is Belgium at 19,600. Okay, so I'm interested to look here at the right, and if I sort based on the recovered, I see that China has the highest percentage of recovered people at 93%, followed by Iran and Switzerland. Whereas if I sort based on the percentage of the death, I see that Italy is number one at 12.3%, followed by United Kingdom and then Spain. Okay, I can look at the summary of the numbers. So here I'm analyzing the total numbers across the globe worldwide, and I'm looking here at the new cases. So yesterday there was an increase in the new cases at 74. The day before, which was 4 April, it was the highest. So it peaked at 101,000, and then yesterday it went back down to 74,000. I can look also at the cumulative curve to the right and see how it is still picking up. And one thing I want to analyze here is the log transformation, which means that the scale in the log transformation is multiplied by 10. So this helps me see how fast is the virus is spreading with time, which means how much time it takes for the virus to be multiplied by 10. So here, for example, if I look at the curve, it was around 1,000 cases during 24 or 25th January. Then it reached the 10,000 cases towards the end of January, 1st of March, which means in 6 days it increased by 10. So it multiplied, the number of cases multiplied by 10. Then if we look at the month of February, we see that it started at 10, almost 10,000, and then towards the end of February it reached the 100,000. So in 1 month again it was multiplied by 10 times. And then if we look at March again, also we see during 1 month it is multiplied again by 10, which is really crazy. Okay, so it increased from 100,000 to 1 million in 1 month, which means if it stays with this rate, then in April it will reach 10 million towards the end of April. And then towards the end of May it will reach 100 million, which is really very, very alarming. So hopefully this curve will start to take its S curve, it will start inflict and take its horizontal direction so that we don't see this massive increase. Okay, so here I can also look at the numbers by the continent. I see that Europe is number one, followed by North America, then Asia, South America, Africa, Oceania, which is Australia, and the seven seas, which means all these ships that are infected, such as the Diamond Princess. And also I can look at the numbers by the level of economy, and I can see here that there is a relationship, there is a correlation between the level of the economy and the number of cases. And this can be due to some of the reasons related, for example, to the testing. So probably in the developed regions, there are more testing than there are in the less developed regions, such as the emerging markets and the developing regions. And again, also we see that the number of cases in Europe and North Africa is more than the number of cases in others. For example, in Africa is still low, and if we look again at the map, we see how the color is darkened in Europe and North Africa, whereas in Africa it's still not that much. And again, this can be due to a lot of reasons. For example, in Africa the temperature is high and this might not help the virus to spread. There are also other reasons related, for example, to the demographic split. Probably in Europe there are more elderly people than for example in Middle East. We know that in Middle East there are a lot of youth. Also in Europe, before the emergency and before the social distancing, people gathered a lot. The streets were always busy. There's the transportation system, so it's easy for the virus to spread than other markets. Alright, this is all I have to say for now. Thank you very much, and please be safe and be protected always. God bless you all.